Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to Let's Try Gwent, the closed beta for the Witcher card game. So I have to admit, I have not played through the Witcher games. I've got 1 or 2 hours in all 3 of the Witcher games, but I have not found the time yet to sit down and properly play through the game, which I hate because I know the Witcher games in general are really my kind of thing, and I know that, especially with The Witcher 3, it's just such a incredibly high-quality, well-done game, just incredibly well-reviewed, and I'm going to love it. So I hate the fact that I haven't done it yet. Also, I hate the fact that I haven't gotten a chance to play Gwent, which is a card game that was introduced in the Witcher universe, and that you can play in the game. In fact, it was so well received, people loved Gwent so much, that they decided to make a standalone CCG version of Gwent. And this has very little in common with other CCGs you might have played, like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone or something like that. I mean, yeah, you buy cards, and yeah, you open the packs, although they're called kegs here, and it actually has a really cool mechanic for how you actually open the packs. More on that later. But the entire way that you build decks and the way the game is played is very unlike almost every CCG I've ever tried. Now, what I want to do in this video, all I've done basically is I played a tutorial and I've played some practice rounds against the AI. I haven't played against a real human opponent yet. And other than, you do get a couple of kegs as a freebie when you complete the tutorial, but other than that, I haven't opened anything. You can see here I've got 60 kegs waiting for me. What I want to do is I want to play another game against the AI so that we understand a little bit about how the game is played if you've never played Gwent before. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open a whole bunch of these kegs because Briarstone, who's a huge fan of The Witcher, wants to play some Gwent against me. And so I'm going to get some cards so that I can make a half-decent deck, hopefully. So we're going to go into here. If you have played Gwent, then maybe you don't care about watching me play the AI. I'm going to play this test monster deck here. Now, you do get some starter cards when you just by getting in here and completing the tutorial and whatnot. You don't have a lot of cards, though, and so my test monster deck is probably very similar to the monster starter deck. I don't know. The deck building rules are you need a minimum of 25 cards, a maximum of, I want to say 40? I think most decks that most people are going to play are probably going to be a 25 card number because smaller decks mean that you draw the good cards more quickly. But there are a lot of cards that sort of summon other cards, so maybe there's a reason you might want to make a bigger deck from time to time. I think there are 5 factions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we've got 5 starter decks representing different factions. I think that's all the ones that are in the game as well. When you build a deck, you build it with cards from your faction plus neutral cards, and also you pick a leader. Now, when I go to build the decks right now, I've only got 1 leader for each faction, but I think you can get more. I think is one of the big mechanics of it. So, I mean, if you're coming from Hearthstone, imagine that you could play a mage deck, but pick a different mage hero that instead of having the ability to ping something for 1 damage, has some other hero power, for example. So it's kind of what's going on. Your faction doesn't just determine what kind of cards you can put in your deck, but also each faction has a unique power. So the monster faction that we're going to be playing here has the unique power where kind of the last card I play each round with, various caveats applied to it remains in play from round to round. And this round mechanic is one of the very first things that is different in Gwent than other CCGs, in that we are going to play 3 rounds of Gwent, and the way to win the game is to win 2 of those 3 rounds. Doesn't matter by how much you win or lose each round, it's just the person who wins 2 wins the game. And while you start with 10 cards, and you do draw a few extra cards with the start of each round, you actually draw very little. I think, do you draw 2 in the second round and 1 in the last one? Or is it 3 and 1? I'm pretty sure it's 1 in the last one. So you don't draw very much at all. So your 10 cards will determine much of what's going to happen in the game. And if you play too many cards in the first round, you can find yourself in a bad situation for the next 2. So there's this really interesting sort of meta mechanic going on determining your play. Anyway, I'm going to do my mulligan here. You get to redraw 3 times. It's worth noting you don't flag up to 3 cards and then redraw. You redraw them once at a time. What I want to make sure I've done here, I would really like to start with a fog effect in hand. I was going to say it's important not to start with any foglets. Ancient Foglet is okay. What do I want to redraw here? I can probably get rid of First Light, so let's do that. Let me redo the Commander's Horn as well. That's quite nice. This is quite nice. Scorch is amazing. I don't know, maybe I can live without Lacerate. You know what, if I've got a couple of removal cards, maybe I can get rid of Lacerate as well. I really want to get... Oh, excellent. I think I got my Fog card. Alright, so her special ability... Well, her, I was going to say, because the faction... That's interesting, yeah. So he's got a different leader. The faction that he's playing, I can't remember her name, which would let me redraw 3 more cards, which is quite powerful. He's got a different unique character over here. Look at all silver cards in your deck, play one, and place the others back randomly in your deck. But the faction ability on this faction here is the ability to choose who gets to play first on one of the rounds, which is kind of interesting. My leader here is this guy, Aridin. All he is the Strength 11 dude from the Wild Hunt faction. Well, faction, or... maybe I call it tribe or something like that. That's probably the term they use. I don't know. With weather immunity. And he can be kept by the monster's faction ability. So, my monster's faction ability is this. The last non-gold... well, I think it's non-gold. I don't know if there's a way to, like, get the reference to my actual power over here. But effectively, the last card I play... the last creature I play from my hand... I get to keep for the next round, because normally at the end of the round, which happens when both players pass, the boards get wiped completely. You keep your hand, but the boards get wiped, and you start clean. Well, I get to keep one, which is going to be really interesting. Now, this guy, I think he might be playing a dwarf faction, so he's probably going to have some resilient creatures in here. So he's going to be keeping some stuff on the board from round to round as well. So I want to be careful about what I play as my last creature, because that's going to be the one that I get to keep, and ideally, I would like to buff those. I think what I'm going to start off with... well, I'm going to play Gerald. So, Gerald, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. That's how little Witcher I've played. He is a Strength 12 card with no ability. He's quite strong. But he's a gold card. Gold cards are interesting. You can only have 1 copy of each gold card in your deck, and there's a limit to the total number of gold cards in your deck. Silver cards, you can also only have 1 copy of each of them, and there's also a limit to how many silver cards you can have in your deck. Bronze cards, you can have up to 3 copies of each individual bronze card, and other than that, you can have as many bronze cards as you want. And there's a lot of card interactions that differ based on your type of card, bronze, silver, or gold. Gold cards are basically immune to everything, but that includes being immune to most buffs as well. They're very, very, very static cards. This dude here is like so nasty. Barkley Elves, I don't know. He adds, again, I haven't played the game, so I don't know these characters at all. He adds 1 strength to all your other non-gold dwarf cards, no matter where they are. So his hand, his library, his graveyard, all his dwarves got +1 strength, which makes him kind of dangerous. I wonder if I should play the Manticore last and see if we can't keep him around. Now, let's see here. I gotta figure out who to play last. I also want to make sure that my Scorch, which kills the strongest non-gold unit on the battlefield, I want to make sure that's not going to kill one of my own guys. So I think playing the Manticore right now would be bad. And I think if there's ties, yeah, if there's ties, it kills more than 1. So I also don't want to put down the Fiend, because it would be vulnerable. So let's go and... let me put down the Ancient Foglet, because I'm going to be creating some fog there soon, and I think that's going to be alright. So let me just do that. So currently I'm ahead on strength.
Double chase!
This is a gold dude, so he's going to be immune to a lot of crap, and he's got resilience. So the resilience unit will stay for the next round of combat. He doesn't stay forever, just he'll be around next round, this dude here, which does make him a little higher priority to kill, but again, I can't really target him because he's a gold creature, so that's not really an option. Alright, I think that was a perfect time for me to cast the Fog. I won't be able to surprise this guy with a weather effect if he decides to load up this row with ranged units. So, weather effects are another thing. They affect one of the rows in Gwent. One of the rows on both sides with an effect. Fog reduces the strength of anyone in that row to 1, unless they're immune to weather, which all my dudes here, that little blue raindrop thing going on here, means they have weather immunity. And actually, my Ancient Foglet actually gets stronger when he's in the fog over here, which is good. Okay, he put down a Strength 11 dwarf here. He's probably base Strength 10, but became 11 because of his dude. So I'm going to play Scorch, which will eliminate that guy. Seems like a really good time to do that. It's unlikely that there'll be a better opportunity to play Scorch. So I'm going to do that. So I'm ahead on score, so he's going to be...
Let's get to work.
Alright. He used his ability to look at all the silver cards in his deck, play one, and place the others back randomly in your deck. But what was the effect? Was it the Commander's Horn that he just played? I mean, it must be. But I'm very confused. It's play one. Yeah, that seems very odd. So I'm ahead right now. So there's no reason for me to keep playing cards, because I could just pass. But he's got tons of stuff in here, so most likely he's going to keep paying out some stuff. But again, I want to avoid overcommitting. If I play a big dude, and he's just like, oh, I'm going to pass now, then I've overspent on this turn. Can my ghoul eat anything? Yes. Okay, my ghoul has the ability, he eats a random creature in either graveyard and absorbs its strength. So if I play this, he'll eat the strength 10 dude. There's no better time to play the ghoul. Plus 10 strength. Worst case scenario, if he passes at this point, because I'm way ahead on strength, I get to keep this ghoul. He does pass. So I will also pass. Because again, so I've already, in a sense, maybe overcommitted, but I'm going to get to keep this very powerful ghoul for the next round. And hopefully that's going to be okay. He does get to keep this dude. There it is. So we're going to do that. So I may have overshot this round. We'll see. But I do get to keep him. This guy's resilient, so he's going to stick around. And you can see the board clears. And then we draw two cards. Okay. And then the last round we draw out one card. So he's going to decide who goes first. So he's playing another Resilient Dwarf, so this guy's going to be around next turn. But he's not gold, which my last raid I think will be quite good. If he plays a few more things here, or because there's no fog, he might decide to play more in the top. The Stammelford's Tremors should also be good. We got a lot of removal options here. Now, if I did not play anything, I would get to keep the ghoul for another round. I think playing more stuff is actually important. And what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to start by playing the Wyvern here and deal 3 damage to this Resilient dude. Good idea, because he's going to be here next round.
A moment.
I mean, unless I kill him, but that's even better. Okay, yeah, keep playing things in the front row. I'll be very happy. Resurrect at the start of the round and lose 2 base strength. So he's going to come back if he dies. But if I don't kill him, then that actually might be better. I don't think there's any reason not to keep playing down some dudes. I might be able to use this ping with Stammelford's Tremors. Might be able to bring someone down to 1. Let me play the Fiend. I'm try to save the Manticore for last because he should stay for the next round.
As a poison.
Okay, 27-27. And some healing as well. He's got weather immunity, but that's not going to be an issue. Do I want to play Eridan? And I need to save some juice. Well, hold on. I've won a round. Right. So if I just win this one, then I just win. So maybe I'll just play for the win on this particular round here. Here's what I can do now, is I can deal 7 damage to this dude, and then I can ping him for 1 on the next round with my Wild Hunt Warrior. Except that he's going to get healed again. Well, it's not healed, it's added strength, which is a little bit annoying, but he keeps playing out stuff in the front row, which I'm very happy about. So let's see. If I ping brings him on to 4, and then that. I don't want to kill him, so what I want to do is ping this guy. Because then I'll lacerate, bring him, so that if I ping him, it'll bring him to 5. Lacerate him, it'll bring him down to 2, and then the Tremors can kill him. Now, he might get a strength buff again, but that's okay. So yeah, we're probably going to dump our hand on this turn and hope that we come out as a win. We got to remember we can play this dude as well. Dwarven Mercenary, gain 2 strength for each dwarf unit on your side of the battlefield. Well, shit. If he's got more of that, I can't kill these guys fast enough. Okay, well. We gotta go for the Lacerate, and then we gotta follow up with the Tremors, and hope that... Oh, god damn. I've made a terrible mistake by not killing these guys earlier. Well! I don't know if it really makes a difference. Well, kinda. So I don't really want to kill this guy. Because he'll just come back with more strength. Well, he'll come back with a strength 4 instead of a 6, but it's still bigger than a 1. So, he's done that. So there's nothing for me to do other than to drop my dude here. I mean, I could just pass, but I think that would be dumb.
They can hide, but there is no escape.
Now the question is, will this give me the win? Depends on what he's got in his hand. I do get to keep this guy for next round. Oh, shite. That's not good. It's going to go pass. I've lost this round. I get to keep him, but he's only strength 7. This guy comes back, right, because I did kill him. First light, I'm going to have to play for... Ooh, he zapped me. So, he's got no cards left. So as long as first light randoms a creature with... That's going to be fine. This ghoul is going to come in. He's going to eat a creature at random, leave me with a strength of 6, and I'm going to win. But, oof, what a tight little ending there. Clearly, I probably misplayed about 30 different things, despite the fact that I only played, 14 cards or something. But, oi! There you go. So that's a game of Gwent. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and open some kegs. I wonder if I should just start a new video. Probably that makes the most sense. So tell you what, we'll put a cut in here. Next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to open up some kegs. See you then.